Welcome to Night Shift Horror Stories, the ultimate hub for all things terrifying. Here, we dive deep into creepy stories, spine-chilling mysteries, haunted places, and everything that'll keep you up at night. Whether it's real-life encounters or urban legends, if it's scary, we talk about it. Grab your popcorn, turn off the lights, and join me as we explore the dark side together. Don't forget to subscribe if you dare. The Solway Firth spaceman has become one of the most famous unexplained photographs on the internet over the years, and according to an investigator, it remains as one of the most unexplained photographs on the internet. It was a beautiful Sunday afternoon on May 23, 1964. The local newspaper, the Cumberland News, reported when off-duty Carlisle Fire Service fireman Jim Templeton, 44, drove with his family to the expansive Burgh Marsh along the Solway Firth, a large inlet of water separating part of England and Scotland on their western coasts, in what is today known as the County of Cumbria, in northwest England. When Jim Templeton was out walking in Solway Firth in Cumbria in 1964, he took a photo of his young daughter in a meadow, but when the film was developed, he spotted something that shouldn't be there. What looks like an astronaut can be seen looming over Jim's daughter, but the photographer has always been adamant there was nobody else in the frame. Kodak vouched for the authenticity of the image at the time. This entity was subsequently featured on the front page of the Cumberland News on June 12, 1964, with the figure dubbed the Solway Spaceman. The Templeton family denied the presence of any such person, and neither the police nor Kodak experts could solve the mystery of the spaceman who photobombed their picture. The photograph spawned national and international frenzy as people attempted to prove or debunk Jim's picture. However, 6 decades later, it remains in question. The tulip staircase picture was taken by Reverend Ralph W. Hardy during a visit to the National Maritime Museum in 1966. Hardy was visiting with his wife, who had recently seen a lovely picture of the staircase in a magazine and wanted to try to take a similar one. When the couple reached the Queen's house, they were disappointed to see that the staircase was roped off at the bottom, meaning that they wouldn't be able to recreate the picture Mrs. Hardy had seen in the magazine. Instead, Reverend Hardy decided to take a picture from underneath the staircase. Neither Reverend Hardy nor his wife suspected that there was anything strange about the Queen's house, or the photo they took there, until they returned home to British Columbia and developed the photographs from their trip. All the photographs were completely ordinary except one. The picture Reverend Hardy had taken of the tulip staircase, which had been empty at the time the photo was taken, clearly showed a translucent figure wearing a dark hooded robe gripping the banister. Employees at Kodak concluded that the photo had not been tampered with or double exposed. According to Kodak, the only possible explanation was that someone had to have been on the stairs when the picture was taken, except that no one had been there at all. In fact, on the day the Hardys visited the Queen's house, the entrance to the tulip staircase was blocked off, and visitors were not allowed to go up the stairs. In fact, that was why Reverend Hardy took the picture from underneath the staircase rather than from the top, as he and his wife had originally intended. Ghost sightings at the Queen's house aren't just confined to the area near the tulip staircase. Employees believed the museum is teeming with ghosts. The manager of the Queen's house, Maria Blasinski, says that employees have been reporting strange things happening in the museum after hours for years. Security guards have had numerous inexplicable experiences in the passages underneath the museum, including phantom taps on the shoulder and doors slamming shut of their own accord. One guard was reportedly unable to open a door in one of the below-ground passageways, so they went to ask a coworker for help. When they returned, the door was nowhere to be found. Sometime in the mid-1950s, the Cooper family of Texas bought an old house and moved into it. On their first night in the house, the father took a photograph of the family to commemorate the event. Posed at the dining room table were Mr. Cooper's wife, their 2 young sons, and his mother. Everyone was happy. It was their first home, their first slice of the American dream. Days passed, and finally the father took the exposed roll of film to the local pharmacy to have the pictures developed. He was told he could pick them up a week later. This was common in the chemical years of photography. 1 week later, Mr. Cooper retrieved the small packet of snapshots from the pharmacy and returned home with them. When he came to the picture he had taken of his family on that first night in their new home, he saw what looked like a body hanging from the ceiling. So, where had this mysterious figure come from? Was it an apparition of a deceased former tenant of the house? No one knew. Three Men and a Baby is a comedy from 1987 that involves three bachelors suddenly having to watch over a baby. The infamous ghost boy image in the 1987 comedy film 3 Men and a Baby appears in a window when actor Ted Danson and his mother Celeste Holm are walking through the house Jack shares with his two buddies. As Mrs. Holden plays with the baby girl who was left in the three men's care, a human figure can be glimpsed standing behind the curtains of a background window at the left-hand side of the screen. The ghostly image of a boy who died in the home where 3 Men and a Baby was filmed can be seen in the finished movie. The most common rumor claims that a 9-year-old boy committed suicide with a shotgun in the 3 Men and a Baby house, a detail apparently inspired by the jagged black outline created as the curtains move away from in front of the figure's left-hand side, with the black portions of the figure forming an outline that resembles a long gun standing on its end, barrel down. The figure in the window looks slightly different in appearance from the standee shown later in the film because the distance and angle of the shot make it appear smaller, and the curtains obscure its outstretched arms. All indoor scenes for 3 Men and a Baby were shot on a Toronto soundstage. No actual residential structures were used for interior filming. During a routine photo shoot for Country Life magazine, Captain Hubert C. Provand, a photographer working for Country Life magazine, and his assistant, Indra Shira, were photographing the hall for a general article, and seemingly had no intent to cover the spectral legend, only to find what appears to be an eerie, spectral presence in the picture once it had been developed. After taking an initial photo of the hall's grand staircase, they were making preparations for a second, when Shira saw the gradual formation of a vapory form gradually assuming the appearance of a woman. Upon Shira's instruction, Provand quickly took another photograph, and, upon development, the infamous image of the Brown Lady was revealed. Instead of the supposed planned article on Raynham Hall, Provand and Shira's experience, complete with photographs, was printed in Country Life on December 26, 1936. When the image was published, it caught the attention of paranormal researcher Harry Price, who vouched for its authenticity after interviewing the photographer. As is the case with many of these old English manors, Raynham Hall is awash with ghost stories, some predating the creepy photo, and others coming to light afterwards. Many revolve around the legend of the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall, who some believe is the ghost in the photo.